What's going on, YouTube fam? Steven from the Vargas team here again, bringing you another video, and it's the last video of 2021. And in this video, instead of a property tour, which we have plenty of those coming up for next month, I figured I'd take you guys on kind of like a tour, of vlog, if you will, of my last video for the year. And today we basically are doing a few closings. We have 3 closings as of today, to be more precise, and those closings will total around $2.7 million. I put $3 million in the video because in sales it's around closer to 2.7, 2.8, and then we finished the rest with rentals. We did a lot of higher end rentals this month, so that brings us to a total of around closing and commission of around $3 million. So finishing off the year strong on this beautiful Monday after Christmas. But yeah, there's plenty of things that I want to show you, a lot of content that I want to create for 2022. But I figured that because everyone's on vacation, that's where I should be, but you know, that's the life of a real estate agent. We are going to end off this video with just kind of like a day in the life series. I don't know if it's going to take any relevancy. This may be the only video I do like this. It may not be. It may be a series, and it all depends on if you guys like it or not. So if you like this type of content, then obviously let me know by liking this video, clicking that thumbs up button. You have no idea how much that helps me and the channel. And it also just lets me know that videos like this is more of the type of content you want to see. So like closings, talking to clients, you know, setting up and coordinating closing with title companies, the negotiation, all the behind the scenes stuff. Maybe that's boring to you, maybe it's not. Either way, let me know in the comment section below. So yeah, that's kind of the plan today. More free flow. I don't really have anything planned other than taking you guys along for these closing. And I do want to give you like my final thoughts, 2021 recap of, you know, the business end of the year, but also just the channel. See how we've grown from where we started off in the earlier part of the year and where we are now, and where I envision the channel going. And you guys have all been along for the ride. Some of you from the beginning, some of you just recently joined in. Either way, I'm very appreciative, and I want to share with you some of my final thoughts. So let's look forward into that. So yeah, let's get started with the vlog, I guess. Can I get a coffee? So real quick, this iced coffee situation has become quite an obsession with me lately. You know, I tend to be super self-disciplined, so I don't really drink that much coffee on purpose. Like, I tend to tell myself, look, you're gonna drink coffee like, you know, once or twice a week, and I limit it at that. But lately I've realized that I've been wanting to find excuses to drink iced coffee, and these videos don't help because I always somehow feel like I need to incorporate it just because it's cool in my video. And maybe if it's not even that cool, I just think to myself that it is because I want one subconsciously. I don't know. Anyways, the point of today is that we finally got the clear to close from the last file that I was waiting on from the lender. So one of the files that I had was a cash deal, which is always fun. If you're in real estate, you know that, you know, very little contingencies. Once you pass an inspection period, you're pretty much golden, provided that the inspection period passes, everybody's fine. You move on to the closing table, title company prepares the closing docs, and there you have it. With a financing deal like this other property that I'm selling is at 1.1 million, that one is financing. So I had to wait for the clear to close, and because it is the end of the month, literally we're a few days out from New Year's Eve, everyone's trying to close in December. So what that means is there's a backlog of people trying to get their clear to close to, let me lower this here, to close before the end of the year. So that puts us kind of in queue, in line, and it just slows up the entire process. And it's just not a whole lot of fun waiting for a clear to close when we're all ready to go. Seller, buyer, title company, everyone's basically ready to go. Let me rephrase that. We need the closing package. So title company needs some time to put that together, but theoretically they can do that within a short period of time and we can close today. So the idea is still to close today in the afternoon. It's 2:50 p.m. so we're gonna try to close before 5 o'clock. Somehow that's gonna work out. Maybe this video gets divided into a second day where tomorrow morning on Tuesday we end up closing. I don't know, we'll see how that goes. But I did want to take this time to just quickly chat about the growth of the channel, where we're at today. So I started this channel about like a year and a half ago, but I do know that, you know, I started getting to the property segment tours maybe a year ago. So for the first 6 months I was just trying out different things, and some things were working, some things clearly weren't. But what I can tell you is this: in January of 2021 I started with, I had about 250 subscribers, maybe 300 give or take, and we're closing out the year a little over 3,000. I had a goal set for 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I didn't hit that goal, but I am still very happy with the amount of subscribers that we had. At first I was even impressed that anybody cared to listen to A, let alone what I had to say, but B, just where real estate is going. But I think with the rise of Miami real estate, that has obviously changed, and a lot of people are very interested in seeing what places rent for, and definitely what they sell for, and what you can sell your property if you are a seller in this market, which is a great position to be in. So it's been interesting, and for that I want to say thank you, because it's not easy growing a channel. It's a grind, it's a hustle. I already have a lot of things to do in my real estate career. I manage not just my real estate clients where I help them buy, sell, and rent real estate, but I also have 14 doors of my own across 4 properties that I manage, that are my own properties. And then I have my property management company with 2 employees, and so we're constantly growing. We have more and more people, and it's just a lot of things to do on top of a YouTube channel. So it is a grind, but I do appreciate that anybody subscribes. I do appreciate that people like it. So I just wanted to, you know, finish the year by saying thank you to those of you who followed along in this journey. I do have a lot of plans for next year, how to up the content, how to create better quality content, and grow, and incorporate drone videos and footage, and definitely other people, other agents, listing agents, and tour some of their stuff. And I have a lot of plans and collaborations. Obviously it's a lot of time, but as long as this channel continues to grow, and as long as things continue to shake out the way I think they're supposed to shake out, and you guys continue to like, share, and subscribe the content, I'm going to continue to provide and do my best to provide the best content that I can. And we'll shoot for a goal. My goal is pretty lofty in 2022, as my goals usually are. I'm shooting for 100,000 subscribers by December 2022, by the end of the year next year. Do we get there? That's completely up to you guys. I mean, can we get there? Absolutely. People have grown their channel that quickly. I know it's a very tall order to ask, but with your support, we could definitely do it. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. Hopefully we can get there, and if not, hopefully we can fall somewhere along those lines, kind of how I did this year. And excited to see. I have a lot of things in store rather for next year. I want to open up an office, trying to hire some other employees, and try to get other things going, where we started an Airbnb side of the operation for our property management company. We're investing in more properties this upcoming year. I will be investing in some Airbnb properties, some also long-term hold rental options that I usually do in my multifamily space. So I'm planning on doubling up on my rental portfolio and expanding my Airbnb property management as well. But I'm also planning on, you know, selling a lot more real estate. So I want you guys to follow along in that journey. If you haven't already subscribed, then obviously subscribe, because there's a lot of things that I want to share, and like this video and share the video, and that would be super helpful. So that was my spiel on the YouTube side of stuff. Let's go close this property. Let me take you to the closing table, see if we can film there. I'm not too sure if we can film at the closing table, but I'll give you a recap afterwards, and we'll sign off for the year. And yeah, there you have it. All right, guys, so let me give you an update as to what's going on. One of my closings, we got the closing package just recently, like a few minutes ago, if that. And so I have multiple closings taking place in different locations right now. So we're heading to one of the offices to close on 2 properties, and then the other closing is taking place somewhere else simultaneously. And unfortunately I can't be in that one. You know, everything kind of just came together last minute. Again, end of the year, everyone's throwing, you know, closings together last minute, trying to accommodate every buyer, every seller. And yeah, we definitely want to get as many closings done before the new year. So with that being said, we're heading to this one. I cannot film at the closing, be out of respect of all the parties involved. I don't want to, you know, expose, you know, I just want to keep it private. A lot of these sellers and some of my clients who are investors, they prefer to remain low-key. So I will get to this closing and then I'll recap you on the closing, the numbers, what exactly happened, and we'll go from there. So we'll do that and then we'll touch base afterwards. All right, so there we have it. We closed on all 3 properties. Well, technically, and I'll explain why. And you know, not exactly the way I wanted. I would have loved to taken you guys into the process so you can see a closing if you've never done a real estate closing or purchase a property. Kind of uneventful. I mean, just a lot of paperwork that the title company puts together, and all of that paperwork just needs to get signed by the buyer. They really kind of run through it because a lot of this information is discussed prior to closing. So the closing statement is always looked at and reviewed by myself, the title company more specifically, and there's a bunch of parties involved, you know, seller's counsel, in some cases the buyer's counsel or who have you. So a lot of these things take place prior to the fact. So it's not as entertaining or exciting to watch on camera. So we didn't really miss out a lot aside from just people obviously signing paperwork. But what I did want to explain was what took place, right? So number 1, we had a closing that was a vacant lot that I had listed in Deerfield Beach for a developer client of mine. So he actually purchased this lot, was going to develop on it, but something bigger came into the foray. So he decided to sell the property that he had purchased earlier this year so that he can make space for a much bigger project. And you know, a lot of his bandwidth was taken up on that project than this smaller vacant lot per se. And this lot, just so you have an idea, was about 1.5 or 1.35 acres. So you could build about 30 to 35 units depending on how you construct it. And so it was a great property. We actually ended up closing on that for $1.1 million. And we listed that within 15 days, I'd say. I got a few offers on the property. So relatively from the time that we listed it to the time that it actually sold was around 35 to 45 days. I mean, it was really quick. And honestly, we expected it to take a little bit longer given the fact that this happened towards the end of the year regardless. But so that one closed for 1.1. I represented the seller on that one. The second closing was for a property in Doral. So it's a higher end property for $1,065,000. We originally got it at 1.1. We were able to negotiate the price to 1.065. So my buyer was able to close on that. The seller's actually flying in from out of town and signing the paperwork tomorrow. So theoretically that one, by the time this video airs, will more than likely be closed. But as of right now, we just have the buyer's signature. So they will be moving into that property, and expect the property tour on that property hopefully sometime soon. This is a gorgeous, you know, modern luxury property. And then the last one was a single family home in Biscayne Park. So this is much closer to the Miami Beach side of things, the Brickell downtown, but more of that suburban house, single family home style, which is kind of rare to find within that area. It's closer, actually it's more Miami Shores than anything else. It's closer to that area. But what I was trying to say is that a lot of that, the properties that most people come to understand and look for around that downtown and Brickell area, if you want to be within 15, 20, 25 minutes, usually are condos. So whenever you're looking for a single family home, you're going to have to expand your search a little further north to include Morningside, Belmead, and places like that, Miami Shores, El Portal, and of course Biscayne Park. So this was a single family home. Now this is an investment for my client because a lot of work needs to be done into the property, but great bones, great location. This location is exploding because as properties in Miami Shores become extremely expensive over the last few years, but definitely over the last 12 months, places alongside of Miami Shores have just ultimately just taken its place and grown in value. So a lot of people are seeing the fruits of the benefit of owning homes in that area. And my client in particular is very excited to get started with this investment. So with that being said, that sold for $550,000. We represented the buyer on that. So that puts us at around 2.715 in sales in one day in the last week of the year. And then the other 200 and some odd dollars to the $3 million mark we did in several different rentals for the month as well, which obviously there is no really closing on that other than just exchanging keys. So that would bring us to a total of about $3 million in commissions, or equivalent to about $3 million in commission when you add those rentals to the 2.715 that we sold today. So I'm extremely happy with, this Monday. It's the last Monday of the year, and it was a great way to close out the year. So I appreciate you guys following along. I hope this was somewhat informative. I don't know how this is going to come off, but you guys will be the judge of that, and you'll let me know if this type of series and video is something that you guys want to see more of. And of course, in the future, if this is the type of content you want to see, then I will do my best to incorporate more behind the scenes stuff and more of that closing, and probably hopefully answer any questions that you have in the buying process and the selling process, and possibly even the renting process. So yeah, with that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I don't want to draw out this video any longer than it has to be. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video to help out my content and my channel with the algorithm. Make sure you share this video if you think it'll be valuable to somebody else in your circle. And as always, guys, I will see you on the next video. Take care, have a happy new year, and God bless.